open to possibility, especially with all the other things that happened. It had me wondering, at least. I hadn't really committed to knowing, but one of the people that I met early in the early 90s, does everybody know Linnea Reed, the Light Sound Technologies out of Scottsdale? Linnea connected with a lot of different people. She called me up, said, you need to talk to this guy. And I gave him your number, he's got your number, connect with him, good interview. Okay. So I went to meet with him. Took a friend of mine with me just as an observer. And within 30 seconds of looking into his eyes, I saw a pair of almond-shaped eyes behind his eyes. It took me a couple of weeks to finally confront him and say, what is it with your eyes, dude? And he said, you know, you're the first person that's had the confidence to ask. I said, really? And he said, yeah. I said, so tell me about it. And he said, well, my mother was abducted when she got pregnant from me. And they've been watching me. I was in the SEALs, and then I got recruited. And this is what I found out later. He'd been recruited into 30D Sun Sheep. Actually, you know, if there's one person who is threatening the lives of millions, somebody needs to take him out. He was that guy. When I found out, he'd been wounded and without a commission. And he felt like, okay, I'm done. I can talk now. And I was the first one that he told. God, I had to go through my own just getting out of the way of my own judgment of what he had had to do, but recognizing that, you know, if thousands or millions of people are threatened, what do you do? And if you ask them nicely to stop, and then you warn them nicely to stop, and they still continue, what do you do? So, after that, I started having some pretty bizarre things with several different types of ETs. One of the instances, I woke up on a table out of a dream and was laughing. Had probes in places that you might imagine. You've heard of it. So I started pulling them out, and they were like acupuncture needles that had electrodes attached to them. And I'm laughing. Like, come on, guys, what do you think you're doing? I'm pulling these things out, and they're backed up in the table. And I pull one, and it stings, and all of a sudden I'm back in my bed. And I think, wow, I want to go back. So I close my eyes, I'm trying to get back there. And I run into this humanoid-looking being, and he says, you know, we're just trying to tune you in so that we can communicate with you more easily. And I'm thinking, well, wow, that kind of makes sense. I just studied about the cranial nerve. And the cranial nerve is a direct connection to the nervous system. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? It's the cranial nerve is connected to your sphincter. And that's where the needles work. So, a couple months later, I get a phone call from a friend of mine that's just freaking out because this ET's bent over outside of her healing facility, and she feels like she needs to call me. I need to go over there and help her with this meeting. And so I'm like, okay, this is bullshit, but I'm going to play anyway, just to see what happens. So I'm on the way over there, and I'm asking, okay, what's happening? And I feel like I get a javelin stuck in my left hip. And I show up there, walk in, she says, I got in the healing room. I walk in, I blink, and I see a reptilian laying on their healing table. Now she thought it was Zeta. So he showed himself as a Zeta, because if he just showed his true form, she'd have freaked and wouldn't have anything to do with him. She ran ahead, hide, because they're supposed to have this negative appeal. Well, The only reason that is because their energy is so high. And you've heard a lot of stories. I can only speak from my own experience, and you can take that and figure out what it is you need to know. But I helped heal this one. And the reason he came there was to get to me, because I am connected to the Galactic Federation. And when our conversation took place, the reason that he showed up specifically to see me was because I hold the authority to allow them to enter the Federation. That was the first time that I was told by another being that I held that authority. I wasn't quite sure what to think of it, but I played along. And there were some things that seemed to verify that. Now, again, in the common everyday experience, you don't have this kind of stuff going on. So how do you deal with that? Very likely, you kind of don't talk to too many people about it. This is one of the first times that I've opened up to actually talk about these things. This happened in the mid-90s. So, yeah, I'll just pass by that.
And then we've got a few more minutes, and then I'll open up for Q&A.
What I'd like to do then is I'll just close this part of it. What I'd like to do, if y'all wasn't really able to get you to this place, but I have some music that a band, or the guys that I played with, have put together, and I've used it for guided meditations before. Right before I came back from California a few years back, we used this to meditate together, and it provided a very interesting experience. I don't think, as I'm looking at the time, it really is not appropriate with what my Catholic schedule is. So I apologize that this has gone a little bit longer. Let's just go right to Capsule 300. Anybody familiar with that? February of 2001. I was on board a ship conducting meetings in a series of events. I thought they were dreams at the time, but at the end of it, I was given a plaque, which looked like this. I drew it later. What we were talking about was first contact and the duties and responsibilities of these different beings. There was several hundred of them in an amphitheater kind of set up on a ship. And I was introducing several other members of the Galactic Federation that were sharing the duties and responsibilities of what's to take place. Now, ultimately, the contact comes from within. The process.
Would you like to, if we take a break, do you want to come back and finish? You want to come back, you can finish.
Is that okay with you?
Okay. We'll take a bathroom break for about 10 minutes and come back.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll do that.
But the time, yeah, because we're fine with that time too. Honestly, I have to say this.